Everyone, welcome to the show. I have an update to share about one of Trump's Capitol insurrectionists. It's time for an episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
So, Oath Keepers member and former Special Forces soldier Jeremy Brown has been found guilty by a jury, but this wasn't about what he did at the Capitol on January 6th. So here's the deal. When Brown was arrested and his property was searched following the Capitol attack, FBI agents found numerous illegal weapons and explosives both in his home and his RV, as well as stolen national security documents. So Brown was charged with 10 different crimes, 9 felonies, and 1 misdemeanor. Brown was also subsequently imprisoned, and he's been held in jail since shortly after his arrest in September of 2021. The judge believed that Brown posed a, quote, danger to law enforcement officials, primarily because Brown posted a threatening note on his front door after his home was searched. The note was directed at law enforcement, and it said that the next time they visit him, they, quote, better bring a bigger tactical package. Obviously a reference to weapons, but Brown alleges that he's being targeted and that evidence was planted in his home because he refused to cooperate with agents who asked him to become an informant against the Oath Keepers. He also claims that the FBI is out to get him because he made negative comments about the January 6th investigation. And here's the thing, Brown does have a recording of 2 agents talking with him and asking him to give them a heads up if he heard about an attack that might be about to go down. They even said, oh, we can't make any promises, but the government might be willing to pay for information like this. But it shows how egotistical and paranoid Brown is. He's thinking that, oh, the government is just out to get him, this one guy. They're going to go through all of this trouble and all of this expense just because he didn't rat out his fellow Oath Keepers. And even the leader of the Florida branch of the Oath Keepers expressed reservations about Brown, and he referred to him as a loose cannon. And the reason those agents went to speak to him in the first place was because he wrote on social media that something to the effect that he was trying to find people willing to fight a civil war. So yeah, this guy does appear to be a bit of a loose cannon. The other thing that points to his oversized ego is the fact that in a recorded call to his girlfriend, this is when he was in jail, or since he's been in jail, Brown told her in regard to the jury, quote, I could lie my ass off and they'd love the shit out of me. Apparently not. So that was used against him in a court of law because all of those calls, all of those communications are recorded. I mean, so stupid. So Brown's trial began last week. Agents testified about how they conducted their search and what they found at the property. In addition to the agents, a U.S. Air Force investigator testified that he received a tip that Brown possessed classified defense documents all the way back in 2017. So he confronted Brown back then. And Brown allegedly told him that he didn't have the documents, but then he refused to allow a search of his property. So kind of tells you, this guy is saying he knew about these documents all the way back in 2017, but Brown is claiming that they were planted because he refused more recently to turn on the Oath Keepers. I mean, makes no sense. So on the final day of the trial, Brown testified, and he testified for more than 3 hours, and he maintained that he had no grenades, he had no classified documents. These 2 items were planted in his home. He admitted to having the other things, but he tried to excuse it. Now, his fingerprints weren't found on the grenades, but, that's easily explained with gloves. And then during cross-examination, the government prosecutor really tried to impugn his character. The prosecutor asked Brown about an incident in which there was pornographic material that Brown uploaded to a military server in 2011. And he said that Brown was not only reprimanded for that, but basically that incident ultimately ended his military career. So Brown said no. He told the jury that he was already scheduled to retire. So after 4 days of arguments and testimony, the jury deliberated for just over 5 hours on Monday, and they found Brown guilty on 6 out of the 10 counts. 2 counts of unlawfully owning 2 guns, 2 counts of possessing military grenades, 1 count of storing explosive material, and 1 count of possessing national security documents. So the other 4 charges that they found him innocent on, those will be dismissed more than likely. Those all involved classified documents. So based on the most serious of the convictions, Brown is facing up to 10 years in prison, and he'll be sentenced by Judge Susan Buckley on March 13th of 2023. As for Brown's January 6 charges, those are all misdemeanors, and the judge has requested that the government file a status report on that case before December 19th. So I'll let you guys know when I hear more about either of his cases. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, subscribe, please donate. Thank you all so much. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.